Hey guys, I'm Levi. Today we're going to be working on a Case 450B. I pulled the injection pump off this dozer because fuel was mixing with the oil. So I already got the pump off, but I'm going to show you and explain how to get the dozer in time and take the pump off. And I already got the pump rebuilt. I got it rebuilt from Southside Injection in Anderson, South Carolina. So he does a pretty good job. So let's get into this. All right, we're over here looking at the injection pump area where the pump goes on the dozer. And you'll have to remove the filters and the filter housing to get the pump off. Of course, your linkages and your injector lines, pretty self-explanatory. The injector lines only come off in one order and go back on in the same order, so you can't really mess those up. The big deal with these pumps is these seals here. That's what was leaking on this pump. The inside of the pump has got a brass sleeve that slides over these, and it wears out over time, and then these seals leak the fuel into the oil. So if you notice, there's a dot here, and there's also a dot in this pump. There you go, you can see that dot back in there. There's two dots, the smaller dot on the left side. So those dots need to line up. So when you take this pump off, you need to make sure these lines are lined up here. So you can take this cover off and turn the motor over by hand, and when you get those lined up, the motor is in time, top dead center, and there is another cap over on the other side, and if you take it off and look down inside there, you will see that the top dead center marks on the motor. So you know the pump and the engine is in time, and then you can go ahead and remove the pump. Alright, so looking here at these butterfly O-rings here, I'm going to remove these from the shaft here, the old ones. So the back one points towards the back of the dozer, like this. And the front one points towards the front of the dozer. So now that we got those off, I got some Lucas engine oil here, some oil conditioner, heavy duty oil stabilizer, and I'm going to put some of that on this shaft, rub it in and get it all lubed up there. And you want to be really careful when you're putting these new O-rings on, not to tear them or get them flipped the wrong way or anything like that. Alright, here's the new gaskets here, O-rings. I've soaked those in diesel and oil. So we'll just carefully put these on. All right, got the first one on there. All right, there's both seals on there. The next thing is make sure that your pump here, these lines are lined up just like when you took it off, and make sure this little knob in there matches the knob on there. And if it's not, then all you have to do is just stick a screwdriver down in here and just get it aligned. An important thing that I didn't mention, whenever you go to slide the pump on, you want to make sure that the throttle is wired back or held back. When the pump came back to me in the mail, Southside Injection, they wired that back for me, because he tells me that if it doesn't stay back, if the throttle doesn't stay back, then the governor can move, and there's some weights down in there, and some of that stuff can get out of place. So it's important that when you're sliding the pump on, hopefully when you get it rebuilt, somebody has wired that back, and that way you don't have to worry about trying to hold this back and slide it on and get the seals in it, because that's too much to worry about. All right, we're ready to slide the pump on here. And you want to make sure before you just slide it on there, you want to move it back and forth and make sure that this seal right here, this lip, goes inside of the pump casing. need to add some more lube. Alright, I got it slid on there. I just kind of work my fingers around the seal and kind of work the pump back and forth, up and down this way, and it finally went in there. I got the pump seated up against the housing, so it should be good. Now we can start putting our bolts in here and tighten the pump down. My lines are still lined up here, so I should be all lined up on the inside. So let's get the bolts put on. Alright, now that we got the pump all tight, we're gonna put our kill cable on here. Now we can go ahead and unwire this. I'm just going to bend it back for the time being. And now we can start putting the injector lines on. Okay, the first line that goes on is number 2 cylinder. It's this very back one here. The next one that goes on will be number 1 cylinder. Alright. The next line will be number 3 cylinder. Which goes right here. Alright, the last line is number 4. Alright, put our bracket on here for the return line. Alright, now that the filter housing's on, I'm just putting the return lines on both sides of the top of the pump. And we got this feed line here. It goes up around here. Alright, I got one side of this feed tube tight. The other side is not wanting to line up very well. too much. There we go. Alright, I got the feed tube on. Now, we need to probably hook up our throttle linkage. I went ahead and put the feed tube on, and I put the throttle on. Went ahead and hooked up the fuel lines and the filters, and I've got fuel to the pump, so there's no hand pump on these dozers. So we're gonna go ahead and crank her up here and see if she'll start. Alright guys, so that was the 450B injection pump. Sounds like it idles a little bit high, so I'm probably going to have to work on that a little bit, do a little bit of adjustment. I got to change the oil because the oil's got a little bit of fuel in it, and I got to change the fuel filters, put new fuel filters on it. But if you're still watching by this point, thanks for watching, and see you next time.